language came from our psyche, which is a download from where? Source? I don't know where this is coming from.
Yeah, I mean, it has to do with perception, right? Seeing, seeding, co-creating reality. So the way that I would look at that is that we're spiritual beings and we're in matter, so we're both. And we are defined in terms of both, right? So the problem with the materialists is that they ignore the spirit, you know. And most spiritualists, if they've done a little bit of shadow work, they don't ignore their body. They realize, oh, my ego is not something to destroy. It's something to honor and work with and actually wield. And the body is not something to ignore or neglect. It's something to cherish because it houses the spirit. It's the temple, like quite literally, you know, it really does. And so your question, say your question again?
I just feel like it's a circular thing.
Like you think you're asking if it's a download.
Yeah.
I think that nature is our greatest teacher, and it's our only true and honest reflector. So everything that we see coming out of nature is brutally honest. And if we take that without fear, turn it into fire, and then feel it, we have the potential to embody it or resurrect it, live it, be it, right? And the way we articulate or negotiate that is in darkness, right? Like behind our eyes, with words. I mean, with word and symbol. And so I also like to point out, you guys should check this out. This is a true thing. It's called sonoluminescence, light coming from sound. So this is a very, very old idea in the Hindu scriptures that they say in the beginning was the word, but they say it's Om, right? And Om vibrated to such a point to where it vibrates so much the frequency becomes matter and becomes physical. And that's, in my opinion, totally true, because we actually, now science has actually seen sonoluminescence. You can Google star in a jar, and that's where they have a chamber of sound bouncing around in such a way that it actually creates light, and it's totally true, you can see it. And they create little stars in little jars, and they can manipulate them. And then you think, well, that's a laboratory, there's something weird about that. No, if you look at the mantis shrimp, it actually punches its prey with a sound wave. It's the fastest, strongest per pound animal in the world, and it just goes, and it snaps a wave through the water. And when you watch this happen in a time lapse, it actually implodes the water and creates light. And it's called sonoluminescence. And so the word that we have, you know, that's what I'm really trying to get, is that like people just go, nah, I can't be that powerful, you know, I can't really create what I want to create. I can't be what I want to be. Those are your words, right? Stop that. It's like, yes, you cannot do that because you just told yourself you can't do that. So our words are a sword. They're double-edged. And reality is this paradox. It's both matter and spirit. And to be able to cut through it, I think it is a bit like walking Occam's razor. It's just this level of consciousness that certain people can attain. You know, they don't beat themselves up at night. Like, they care about themselves. They love themselves. I don't know what their internal dialogues are of the genius, but I don't think Da Vinci, you know, destroyed himself in his dark hours. I think he probably like really uplifted himself, right? With his words. He's like, I can do this. I can figure this out. I can work. Yeah, I don't know what he said, but his words, I think, dictated a great deal of his reality, and this is our divine gift, and we need to be aware of it. We're just not aware of it. And a lot of it's because our society does not teach this. As a matter of fact, they teach the antithesis to this, because free thinking and free speech is what empowers the individual. And personally, I'm an individualist. I believe in the existential philosophers who promote becoming an individual, because you're never going to find your authenticity if you keep the meme of the herd. And it's not necessarily that the herd is a bad thing. We need it. We're social beings. We need that. It's important. But you'll never know who you are until you willfully break free from society and go find out who you are. And that's really scary because everybody's going to say, they're going to say, you can't do that. You can't do it. You can't make it. You can't be it. You can't do it. And why are they saying that? Because they're in the herd. As soon as you spend some time outside the herd and then you go back to it, you go, oh, society's wonderful, but it's the barometer of average.